Welcome, lovely viewers, to another exciting video. We're thrilled to present to you our video dedicated to Saburo Murakami. Enjoy. Was a Japanese visual and performance artist. He was a member of the Gutai Art Association and is best known for his paper-breaking performances kami-yaburi, in which he burst through kraft paper stretched on large wooden frames. Paper breaking is a canonical work in the history of Japanese post-war art and for the history of performance art. Murakami's work includes paintings, three-dimensional objects and installation as well as performance, and is characterized by a highly conceptual approach that transcends dualistic thinking and materializes in playful interactive forms and often thematizes time, chance and intuition. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting biography and exploring its intricate connections to our topic. Saburo Murakami was born in Kobe, Japan, in 1925, as the third son of an English teacher at Quincy-Gekken Junior High School. He entered Quincy-Gekken University in 1943, joined the university's painting club Genitsukai and began studying oil painting under Hiroshi Kanbara. After World War II, he resumed his studies, graduating from Quincy-Gekken in 1948. In 1949, Murakami participated in the exhibitions of the Art Association Shinseishaku Kike and began to study under painter Tsude. In 1950, Murakami began working as an art teacher at an elementary school. He continued to teach art in elementary, middle and high schools, universities and kindergartens throughout his life. In 1951 he enrolled in aesthetics at Quincy-Gekken's graduate school. In the early years, he participated in several group exhibitions, such as the exhibitions of the Shinseishaku Kike between 1949 and 1954 and the Ashia City exhibitions from 1952 until his death. In 1952 Murakami formed the Zero Kai Zero group with Kazuo Shirage, Atsuko Tanaka, and Akira Kamiyama, all fellows from the Shinseishaku Kike. In 1953, he held his first two-person exhibitions with Yasuo Nakagawa and Kazuo Shirage. In spring 1955, the Zero Kai members joined the Gutai Art Association, led by Jiro Yoshihara. During his membership in Gutai from 1955 until 1972, Murakami presented his works mainly within Gutai projects, including the outdoor art exhibitions at Ashia Park in 1955 and 1956, the Gutai art exhibitions, the Gutai art on the stage shows in 1957 and 1958, the International Ski Festival in 1960, and Gutai's participation in Expo Sedenti. Murakami's first solo exhibition took place at the Gutai Pinakotheka in 1963. Murakami was also a fixture in the group's international collaborations with French art critic Michel Tapie, art dealers Rodolphe Stadler in Paris and Martha Jackson in New York, and with the artist groups ZRO and Null in Germany and the Netherlands. In 1960, Murakami was appointed the Japanese representative at the International Center of Aesthetic Research Committee in Turin. In 1966, on behalf of Gutai, Murakami traveled to the Netherlands to facilitate the group's participation in exhibitions with the Dutch and German artists groups Null and ZRO. Murakami remained a Gutai member until 1972. Erudite in literature, aesthetics and philosophy, he was considered the philosopher among the Gutai members. Beginning in 1972, Murakami's work increasingly included performance and interaction with the visitors of his exhibitions in galleries in Osaka and Kobe. Around 1975, Murakami became involved in the Artist Collaborative Artist Union AU formed by fellow Gutai artists Shimamoto and organized exhibitions, symposiums and mail art projects. He continued to exhibit new works in group exhibitions such as the Ashia City exhibitions, but he also participated in an increasing number of exhibitions worldwide featuring Gutai. In 1990 he became a full professor of Kobe Shoin Women's Junior College, where he had taught art since 1950. Murakami died in 1996 of a cerebral contusion. At that time, He was preparing his first retrospective at the Ashia City Museum of Art and History. As we transition to the next segment, let's unravel the mysteries surrounding personal life and gain a fresh perspective. In 1950, he married Makiko Yamaguchi. Their son Tomoko Murakami, born in 1951, is a critic and researcher of manga and pop culture and has been a professor at Kobe Shoin Women's University. Murakami recounted that his paper breaking was inspired by his toddler son, who in a tantrum burst through the Fusuma paper space divider at their home. Now, we shift our focus to artwork, a topic that deserves our attention. Around 1953, Murakami gave up figurative painting and began making abstract paintings with surfaces that were structured in impastoed segments of oil paint. In the mid-years, he began to experiment with methods of applying paint, such as throwing a ball, which he had dipped into color, onto sheets of paper. Murakami's discovery of tearing paper and other surfaces as a method of artistic production marked a turning point in his approach to painting and provided the basis for his later performance works. For the first Gutai Art exhibition at Ehara Hall in Tokyo in 1955, Murakami stretched paper onto wooden frames, burst through the paper, and put the remaining ripped paper on display. The first version, Matsu no Ana 6 Holes from 1955, posed the question of what constitutes the actual artwork, the object, the performance, or the photography. Murakami continued to perform the act of paper breaking kami-yaburi throughout his entire life, varying in the number and quality of paper screens as well as in the structure. For the Gutai Group's experimental projects like the outdoor art exhibitions of 1955 and 1956, the Gutai Art exhibitions between 1955 and 1971, and the Gutai Art on the Stage shows of 1957 and 1958, Murakami contributed interactive three-dimensional conceptual objects and performances of tearing paper. Examples include Heiko Box 1956, a wooden box with a ticking and ringing clock inside, Kia 1956, a box made of plexiglass that contained nothing but air, and Ayu Faiki All Landscapes 1957, a simple wooden frame hanging from the branches of a tree. In 1957, Murakami created a number of paintings applying nikawa, an animal glue used in Nihonga painting, to the canvas, with the effect that the surface gradually peels off with time. Between 1958 and 1963, when Gutai was working with the French art critic and advocate of informal, Michel Tapie, Murakami created gestural abstract paintings with multiple layers of synthetic resin paint applied in dynamic rough movements and streaming down the surface. He experimented with varying the structures of surfaces by attaching wooden frames or molded plaster. From 1963 onward, Murakami adopted a new style in his paintings by reducing the number of colors of paint and simplifying the pictorial formal elements, by which he thematized the boundaries of painting. As a further questioning of painting, in 1970, he stuck together the front sides of two canvases so that only the back sides of the frames were visible and covered the structure with paint. In 1971, Murakami held a solo exhibition, during which wooden boxes were placed throughout the city of Osaka and then collected and dismantled in the Gallery Morris form. After this exhibition, Murakami submitted his resignation from Gutai, which was rejected by Yoshihara. After Gutai dissolved following Yoshihara's death in 1972, Murakami's exhibitions, which he held in galleries in Osaka and Kobe, increasingly centered around events of performance and interaction with the visitors. Painting and drawing often were part of these events, such as in the case of Tsuji lines at Shinabashi Gallery Apron in Osaka in 1974, during which Murakami's work consisted in the act of drawing a line on sheets of paper with the arrival of each visitor. He also continued to create conceptual objects and installation artworks, which were shown in group exhibitions, e.g. the Ashia City exhibitions and projects by the Artists' Union. From the years onward, Murakami recreated some of his works from the early Gutai years and performed paper breaking for the increasing number of exhibitions worldwide that featured Gutai from a historical perspective. Murakami was also a renowned painter, whose highly conceptual methods and presentation led to experimentation with a variety of painting gestures inspired by children. A central premise of his work was the playfulness of the creative act of painting. Murakami's art is characterized by a highly conceptual, relational, and at the same time strongly intuitive approach that often materialized in seemingly simple works that bring into focus the effects and the experience of space and time, chance and intuition. Murakami's paintings, three-dimensional objects and performances challenged preconceptions on painting, art and perception of the world at large, and are considered as important examples of performance and conceptual art in Japan. Murakami's works are held in public and private collections all over the world, e.g. Ashiya City Museum of Art and History, Osaka City Museum of Modern Art, the National Museum of Modern Art, Kyoto, the National Museum of Art, Osaka, Shiba City Museum of Art, Museum of Contemporary Art, Tokyo, Haigo Prefectural Museum of Art, the Myoji Museum of Art, Axel and May Verwoerd Foundation, Guggenheim, Abu Dhabi, the Art Institute of Chicago, the George Economou Collection, the Museum of Modern Art, New York, Centre Georges Pompidou, Paris, Hong Kong, Rakowski Collection, Dallas. Let's now turn our gaze towards reception and explore the fascinating connections it has to offer. Reports on Gutai exhibitions in the Japanese press in the mid-years depicted Murakami's performance of paper breaking as an attention-seeking whimsical stunt by a proponent of a group of provocative young artists, rather than considering its deeper art-theoretical implications. Heiko Box from 1956 was also described as provocative gag in the press. With the international expansion of Gutai's network in the late years and early years, paper breaking, along other Gutai artists' works, became part of the growing international discourse on action and performance art. Murakami's three-dimensional objects and installation artworks were revalued in the context of the emergence of art movements in Europe and the US that experimented with approaches of installation, environment, and conceptual art at the same time. In particular, through the striking photographs of Six Holes 1955 and Passage 1956, the latter also documented by photographer Kaiji Atsuji, paper breaking became iconic for Gutai, post-war Japanese art and performance art. A work painted by throwing a ball from 1954 has been acquired by the Museum of Modern Art, New York. Until the years, Murakami's works were predominantly dealt with in the context of the art historical assessment of the Gutai group at large. His abstract paintings from about 1957 until the years were thus considered as works from Gutai's phase of regression from experimental interactive three-dimensional objects and performances towards conventional gestural abstract painting caused by the influence of Taipei. Since the years, Murakami's works, including his paintings from the years and his performative exhibitions from the years, have been increasingly reconsidered art historically and acknowledged. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of exhibitions selection. Exhibitions selection. 5th Ashiya City Exhibition, Buddhist Hall, Ashiya 1953 two-person exhibition with Yasuo Kogawa Gallery Umeda, Osaka 1953 two-person exhibition with Shoga Kazuo, Hankey Department Store, Osaka 1955 experimental outdoor exhibition of modern art Challenge the Midsummer Sun, Ashiya Park, Ashiya 1955 first Gutai art exhibition, Ohara Hall, Tokyo 1956 6th Kansai Art Exhibition, Osaka City Museum of Fine Arts 1956 Shink Independent Exhibition, Shink Shinbun Newspaper, Kobe 1956 9th Ashiya City Exhibition, Side Elementary School, Ashiya 1956 Outdoor Gutai Art Exhibition, Ashiya Park, Ashiya 1956 2nd Gutai Art Exhibition, Ohara Hall, Tokyo 1957 3rd Gutai Art Exhibition, Kyoto Municipal Museum of Art 1957 Gutai Art on the Stage, Senki Hall, Osaka Senki Hall, Tokyo 1958 International Art of a New Era, Informal and Gutai, Tokushima Department Store, Osaka, and 4 other cities in Japan 1958 The Gutai Group Exhibition 6th Gutai Art Exhibition, Martha Jackson Gallery, New York, and 4 other American cities 1959 8th Gutai Art Exhibition, Kyoto Municipal Museum of Art Ohara Hall, Tokyo 1963 Solo Exhibition, Gutai Pinakotheka, Osaka 1964 14th Gutai Art Exhibition, Tokushima Department Store, Osaka 1965 15th Gutai Art Exhibition, Gutai Pinakotheka, Osaka 1968 20th Gutai Art Exhibition, Gutai Pinakotheka, Osaka 1971 Saburo Murakami Books Heiko One Man Show, Morris Form, Osaka 1973 Murakami Saburo Solo Exhibition, Gallery Shunkan, Osaka 1973 Murakami Saburo Exhibition, New Gensha, Osaka 1974 Murakami Saburo Exhibition, Shinibashi Gallery, Apron, Osaka 1975 Murakami Saburo Kakekuk Solo Show Kakekuk Koten, Gallery Sawa, Osaka 1976 Murakami Saburo Exhibition, Shinibashi Gallery, Apron, Osaka 1977 Murakami Saburo Exhibition, Displeasure by the Principle of Identity Jujutsu no Fuke, Gallery Kitano Circus, Kobe 1979 Jade Yoshihara and Today's Aspects of the Gutai, Haigo Prefectural Museum of Modern Art, Kobe 1983 Double in Japan. Japanese Avant-Garde 1920-1970. Ein Fotodokumentation, Kunstmuseum Seldorf 1986 Group Gutai, Action and Painting Gruppo Gutai. Pintra y Axine, Haigo Prefectural Museum of Modern Art, Kobe, Museo Espolda Art Contemporáneo, Madrid 1986 Open de Avant-Gardes, Mus National d'Art Moderne, Centre Georges Pompidou, Paris 1990 Diapan alla Vanguardia, Il Gruppo Gutai negli anni 50 Galleria Nazionale d'Arte Moderna, Rome 1991 Gutai, Japanese Avant-Garde Gutai, Japanese Avant-Garde, Marfelden, Darmstadt 1992 Gutai I. Ashia City Museum of Art and History, Kobe 1993 Passaggio a Orient, 45th Venice Biennale, Venice 1993 Gutai. Palais des Arts, Toulouse 1993 Gutai, a restarting point for Japanese contemporary art, Penrose Institute of Contemporary Arts, Tokyo, Kirin Plaza, Osaka 1993 MUS I See Every Sound Includes Music, Zebuk Foyer, Kobe 1994 Japanese Art After 1945, Scream Against the Sky, Guggenheim Museum Soho, New York and other venues 1994 Or Limites, Les Arts et la Vie, Centre Georges Pompidou, Paris 1994 One Day Museum, Feeling from Seeing, Haonishi City Hall, Haigo 1996 Saburo Murakami Exhibition, Ashia City Museum of Art and History, Ashia 1998 Out of Actions, Between Performance and the Object, the Museum of Contemporary Art, Los Angeles, Museum of Contemporary Art, Tokyo, and other venues. 1999 Duta Gallery National du Jeu de Paume, Paris 2001 Le Trib d'Elzat, Galleria Comunale d'Art Moderne et Contemporanée, Rome 2004 Gutai Retrospective, Haigo Prefectural Museum of Art, Kobe 2004 Traces, Body and Idea in Contemporary Art, the National Museum of Modern Art, Kyoto, the National Museum of Modern Art, Tokyo 2006 ZERO, Internationale Künstler Avant-Garde Ihre Jerry, Museum Kunstpalast, Seldorf Mus d'Art Moderne de Saint-Etienne 2007 Art Empire, Where Time Becomes Art, Palazzo Fortuny, Venice 2009 Fairmondi, 53rd Venice Biennial, Venice 2010 Gutai, Dipinge con il tempo e lo spazio Gutai, Painting in Time and Space, Museo Cantonal d'Art, Lugano, Parco Villaccioni, Lugano 2011 Saburo Murakami, Focus on the ARTCOURT Gallery, the Osaka 2012 Gutai, The Spirit of an Era, the National Art Center, Tokyo 2012 Destroy the Picture, Painting the Void, the Museum of Contemporary Art, Los Angeles the Museum of Contemporary Art, Chicago 2012 TOKYO, A New Avant-Garde, the Museum of Modern Art, New York 2013. Parallel Views, Italian and Japanese art from the Ers and the Warehouse, Rakowski Collection, Dallas 2013. Gutai, Splendid Playground, Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum, New York 2014. Saburo Murakami, ARTCOURT Gallery, Osaka 2016. Performing for the Camera, Tate Modern, London 2016. The Emergence of Contemporary, Avant-Garde Art in Japan, Peo Imperial, Rio de Janeiro 2016. The Feverish Era, Art Informal and the Expansion of Japanese Artistic Expression in the Ers and the National Museum of Modern Art, Kyoto, Palais de Beaux-Arts, Brussels 2017. Japanese Art of the Ers, Starting Point After the War, the Museum of Modern Art, Hammer 2017. Saburo Murakami, Art Gallery, Osaka 2017. Saburo Murakami, Axel Verwood Gallery, Wynegem 2018. Gutai, Fergus McCaffrey, New York 2018. Gutai, Space at Le Temps, Mus Soulage, Rhodes 2019. The Yamamura Collection, Gutai and the Japanese Avant-Garde Essays, Hyogo Prefectural Museum of Art, Kobe. I love interacting with my viewers, so leave me a comment and I'll do my best to respond.